Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Political Forum. This is your chance to talk with elected officials that live or reside in the city of Chicago. My name is Mike Jacobson. I'm a staff member here at CAN-TV, and joining me today from the 37th Ward, Alderman Emma Mitts.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. So we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about today, but first I want to make sure that you guys know how to get involved in the conversation. The number at the bottom of the screen, you want to call 312-738-1060, 312-738-1060, and you can call with questions, comments, or concerns for the Alderman. And please also let your friends and family know that they can also watch us online at cantv.org/hotline. So, Alderman Mitts, first let's show people a little bit about you, about yourself, how they can get in contact with you, and as they're looking at this, for folks who may not know things about you, why don't you briefly explain yourself?
Yes, my name is Emma Mitts. I'm the Alderman of the 37th Ward. I'm also the Chairman of the City of Chicago License and Consumer Protection Committee. My ward boundaries are Central Avenue on the west, and I go as far east as Avers. On the north end is Grand, and as you can see on the south end, I go as far as West End. So in between some little clicks and turns. I've been the alderman for 17 years. I sit on 10 committees with the City of Chicago. I've been able to serve my residents, and I'm still here, so thank God for that. We have some difficult times, but I am a mother of two. I have a son and a daughter. They both are grown, one 29, the other one is 39, with two grandkids that are all living in the Austin community. And we've been there. I've lived in my neighborhood for over the last 35 plus years. Same residency. I love my neighborhood. I'm glad to be able to serve the residents of the 37th Ward.
So let's get into it. So right off the top, what's on a lot of people's minds is the violence in Chicago. Numbers in 2017 are at or a little bit above the numbers in 2016 in terms of violent crime, shootings, and murders. And now Donald Trump, the president, is now getting in the conversation, saying that he might bring in the feds, talking about National Guard, which obviously the mayor and superintendent are against. What are your issues? And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts on it is to Mr. Trump, we appreciate and welcome you bringing in the feds, but we want to know how you're going to bring them in. And I don't think that since that conversation wasn't discussed, many of my colleagues have already told them we don't need the feds to come in to create more chaos. We need resources, we need jobs, we need to be able to provide mental health care. So send in some dollars. That's what we need from President Trump to help us out in these crises. So if he asks us, we would tell him that.
And when you're having community meetings with the people in your ward, what are they telling you in terms about the violence and what needs to be done or what they see?
Well, a lot of it is the resources. Poverty is one of the concerns that my colleagues have. I also chair the West Side Black elected officials, city, state, county, and federal, including with Congressman Davis. And we had a working session. We took a whole day to study this issue of violence, to see exactly what we could all come up, meeting of the mind. And one of those issues came out was poverty. Poverty, of course, if we had jobs, housing, all of those issues we need to deal with. It's just not one thing. It's a number of things, because there are a number of things that have affected, including education. We need to make sure that our children are educated. Parents need to be able to be educated on technology, which is driving the economy now. Many of them are far behind or don't have the technology to stay abreast of what's going on. So there are a lot of things that we need to work with, and those are things that we talk about. No one has the direct answer to solve right now.
There is no one answer.
Because there is no one. Right.
And then also the recent report out of the Department of Justice pointing to the Chicago Police Department's excessive force, lax discipline, and bad training. So what are your reactions to these findings?
Well, my reaction is that what they've been all along, that we could have told them without doing the report. And it's been said in our community, we know these things. It just took the Department of Justice to come in and put it in writing form. We live it and we see it every day. We know it exactly happened, and too many people, too many of our constituents, young men and young women have falsely been accused. And it's just a whole list of things back through generation of blacks being mistreated. Simply because how they look or how they dress, how they talk, how they express themselves. They were a target for no reason.
And then so there was a resolution today that was introduced
Yes.
into, so you want to talk about that?
Yes, the chairman of the Public Safety Committee, Chairman Boris, introduced a resolution with probably about 25, 30 aldermen who signed on. And this resolution will be coming up in the next Public Safety Committee meeting, whereas we're saying that we will abide by the JOD's report and saying that their report is accurate, and we want to follow and do everything that it says to make sure that we are complying with and following the rules and what should be to make the city a better place.
Looks like we have our first caller of the night. Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask about the news that Donald Trump has eliminated funding for sanctuary cities via executive orders, our president. And Rahm Emanuel has said, though, that Chicago will remain a sanctuary city. I understand that the city is strapped for funding, so I wanted to know if you could perhaps amplify what he means by our ability to continue the program without federal funds, and what you think of the president's decision to stop the funding.
Yeah, so stopping funding of cities, that are considered sanctuaries. What's your take on that?
Well, I think that our funding shouldn't be stopped because it's more than just immigrants living in the city of Chicago. Of course, myself being African American, have been here, and if you were to stop funding, that means you stop funding for blacks, white, and all race of people. And I think that Donald Trump likes to Twitter. He likes to get attention. He likes to keep people on edge. He likes to do the dividing. But I'm not in support of him stopping funding for the city of Chicago. I'm looking to receive funding, and that's what the city of Chicago needs.
And what in today's city council, you're saying that a lot of aldermen hearing this news, they were up in arms too, saying talking about immigration, how important it is.
Of course,
because this is a city, it's a melting pot.
Of course, immigration is important, but also the life of all people is important. And if I could tell you, African American is just important. So I want to be able to say that as a black person and the history of the black race and the injustice that just been put on a lot of blacks given from the Department of Police, then we are important as well. So it's just not immigration. It's all race. It's blacks, whether it's mental illness, everybody have a stakeholder here. So I'm not just looking at one thing, and I don't want them to forget that.
Well, it looks like we have another caller. Caller, are you there?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. My question is about, it's kind of a hot topic right now, is recycling and how the city has had some issues with the program that we currently have. Can you talk about any thing that you might be doing in your ward to make the recycling program a bit more efficient?
Well, that's a good question, and thank you for asking, and I came prepared to share some information on the recycling program. As you know, February the 1st, in terms of recycling, we will now have to pay for our own bags as we go into grocery stores. So that's a 7 cent per bag. People need to make sure that you get your bags, or you be paying 7 cents for every bag that you purchase, whether it's in the grocery stores or Targets or Walgreens. I would encourage you to pay attention because that's your tax dollars. The plastic bags was not good for the environment. And you could see them flying around, and people were not really using the bags in a way that it was a savings. In other words, now they just flipped the strip. Now we have to go and just take our bags to the store. But in addition to recycling, I brought
Where is it? Is it on the other side? There it is, right over there.
I brought a recycling bag that the city has,
Right on the front. There we go.
and it has, don't know if you can see it,
Pretty big.
pretty nice, healthy, big bag where you can put all of your recyclables in, take them outside to your container and deposit them there, which would make it be a little bit more easy for you to get your recycling done. So I've been holding meetings in my community and passing out some of these bags to residents. For multi-unit buildings and condos, if they don't recycle or have the tenants recycle, they're going to be hit with a fine. And that fine is going to be enforced by Streets and Sanitation. So I encourage people to make sure that you read up on recycling, what goes into the recycling container, and actually when you get through recycling, you're going to have less garbage.
So for people who live in these multi-unit homes and apartments, what happens if maybe they don't have their recycling container there? Like, is there something that should they call their alderman? Should they talk with Street and Sanitation or
Multi-unit buildings, if it's more than 3 units, they're supposed to get a dumpster. So they are to provide their own containers for recycling.
All right, looks like we have another call. Caller, are you there?
Sure.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. And I would like to say, my name is William, and I would like to say, Alderman Mitts, I would thank you for all the dedication and work that you've done for the 37th Ward. And I also like to say thank you for the turkey. It was really good.
How did we get that call? You are so welcome. Thank you.
That's always nice to have some fans right there.
Yeah, well, I give out turkeys every year for Thanksgiving, and actually 1,500 is quite a few turkeys to be given out to families to try to help feed them some of my ward. I've been doing that for the last 17 years.
Wow.
I've been blessed to be able to work hard to get that to the community, which gives them something to let them know we care. We wanted people to have food on their table.
So back to, looks like we have another caller. Caller, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Alderman, I would like to, I have a question, and I would like to ask, why do you have all of these low-income stores in all the black wards? And
It looks like we lost the call. So I don't know if you know where she was going with that.
I don't know. Some of it, she said, low-income stores in all the black wards. Well, I can't answer for all the wards, but we try very hard to get upscale business to come into our community. Of course, if we're having the demographics, the income level, they pick based upon those criteria. So business can either choose to come in or they don't. And for many of them, they'll choose not to come in, but we're still working on them, trying to get them to come into our neighborhood.
Thank you for that call. Caller, are you there? We have another caller.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
I want to ask the Alderwoman, Alderwoman Mitts, why is it that there's 3 big construction sites going up?
I can hear that.
And African American or Hispanic construction owners don't have one finger in building these buildings.
Is it?
I wanted to know why that everybody says, that everybody gets a chance. We don't get a chance here in Chicago. We have mostly a minority aldermen and women and stuff, and still we can't get stuff going. Why?
Are you talking about? You're talking about construction companies that are not minority owned? Yes. Okay. So construction companies are not minority owned that are doing projects in wards, maybe in your ward or in wards in the city of Chicago.
Well, we do have companies that don't stop people who can do the work. The problem is they need to go and make sure that they're certified, because any companies that's doing the work need to be certified, and then you can hire subcontractors. But for most of my projects, I try to make sure I have African Americans working on that. I have a list of African Americans who work on projects in my ward. In fact, I think that that's one of the criteria that every ward should have when people are doing work. That's one way we know we should be able to, if you're going to work in the ward, we should be able to be hired in the ward as well.
So is there advice for construction companies that they might be in your ward?
I think that if we have construction companies that are in the ward, it's because you can't stop a person who wants to set up business if they're legally setting up their business. I just think that we need more African Americans to do the same thing.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for that call, caller. It looks like we have another caller. Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
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 Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm a resident of the 37th Ward, and I just wanted to call and
Well, thank you.
commend Alderman Mitts for the excellent job that she's doing.
Wow.
I've called your office many times for services, and I always receive the services in a speedy fashion, and I just want to encourage you to keep on doing the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I love my community. I work very hard for them. It's a tireless job, but I'm willing to stand up for us.
Thank you for the call. Well, let's make sure that everyone knows if they're watching, they're just tuning in now. You're watching Political Forum here on KNTV. My name is Mike Jacobson. I'm a staff member here at KNTV, and joining us tonight is the Alderman of the 37th Ward, Emma Mitts. And this is how you can get a hold of her if you need to get a hold of the Alderman. There's the information right there. Her office is at 4924 West Chicago Avenue. Phone number is 773-379-0960, and you can also email her at emitts, M-I-T-T-S, at cityofchicago.org. And then also want to let you know some things that are coming up. You want to talk about this, Alderman?
Yes, I hold monthly community meetings every fourth Thursday of each month. And tomorrow we will have our monthly community meeting. It will be held at the ITW school. That's located at 5321 West Grand Avenue from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And the agenda is a proposal of expanding of Noble ITW Spear Academy and recycling ordinance. Someone mentioned earlier, so the City of Chicago Streets and Sanitation will be there. We also have Chicago checkout bag tax. We'll have someone from the City of Chicago Department of Revenue to be there. So as I'm explaining some of the information here tonight, we will make sure we have people in the community who are doing these professions to come out and explain to the community as well. I want to make sure everyone stay informed.
Well, looks like we have about 6 or 7 minutes left in the show, so if you have a question, please call us. The number's at the bottom of the screen, 312-738-1060. That's 312-738-1060. Also, so there's something that Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin is starting to talk about that involves your ward, planning on offering free homes, basically, to city workers, to firefighters, police officers, school teachers.
Yes.
If they live in the community and they work in the community, then the home becomes free after 5 years.
Yes.
Talk about that, what that might do for your community.
Well, first of all, myself and Richard Boykin did a press conference on Monday, and I learned of the ordinance that he's trying to get passed through the county, where we can be able to have teachers and police officers, firefighters to live in our community and offer them some incentives. This is a pilot program in the low-income community, particularly communities where we have a lot of abandoned buildings and they're boarded up. The one thing I thought right away, since we're trying to include African Americans on the police force, it'd be a great opportunity for them to take advantage of a program and to be able to get them a home and live in the area. I think that it would be good also that we get a lot of the property that are boarded up instead of not having anyone to fix that property up and get it back on the tax roll. It'll take out a vacancy and put it back on the tax roll, beautify the neighborhood, increase the tax base, and hopefully property taxes will, they'll be able to, the value of the home will be able to go up.
Well, next time when we invite you over, you can talk more about this and how well it's doing. Looks like we have another caller. Caller, are you there?
I'm here. Hi.
Hello.
This is hi, Alderman Mitts. It's Don Valenti.
Hello, Don. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. I'm looking at you, and I feel better just seeing your face. I am not.
You see, I'm holding my heart. Thank you so much for calling.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm not a member of the 37th Ward, but I've actually done a lot of work in this city, and the alderman has been by my side, and I just want to let her know that she is greatly appreciated by me and a lot of people in this city, not just in the 37th Ward. So thank you for your help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that call.
Yes, I am very appreciative. Dawn is an advocate for the city of Chicago. She's like Reverend Holmes, I think it is, that go out when people get shot a lot. So she's always there to try to help family members. And she had an incident where she lost her sister. And I happened to be able to attend the funeral to try to help her out with some issues that are going on. So I'm grateful to be able to assist people who have property or have any connection, whether it's in the 37th Ward or just in the city of Chicago.
And we were talking about the violence before, and there's programs like that which are so very important to communities.
Yes.
Looks like we have another caller. Caller, are you there? This is my favorite alderman from the west side. I'm from the south side. I would like for her to encourage our south side aldermen and ward committeemen to be on the ball. They need to get on the stick right now. We had a protest here at 87th and the Dan Rhine with the new development that's going on up there. Something needs to be done about Howard Brookins, and we're going to try to get him out of office as quick and soon as possible as we possibly can. But Emma Mitts on the west side doing a good job. Thank you much.
Thank you. Out of all due respect, my colleague Howard Brookins had an incident where he was injured at, and he's been out ill recovering. And I noticed today he was back in the council, so I'm glad that he's healing and he's doing well. And I'll make sure to let him know that his constituents get on the ball.
Yeah, but as if people don't know, back in November he had a bike accident.
Yes, yes,
and
a
he had
very
some
bad one.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's had
very
some
bad.
surgery for it. So it's good to hear that he's
He's
back on the
doing
job.
well. Yes, he's doing good.
So it looks like we're starting to wrap up. Have about a little more than 90 seconds left in the show. So what advice can you give people in your ward and people in the city? Because, you know, the rhetoric, the rancor from the president, which is now being felt in the city of Chicago as we're dealing with the violence. What advice can you give people?
Let me tell you, I'll give you this real quick. Hold on to your pocketbook. Only do the things that you need to do. Forget about your wants, because you're going to need it down the road. These days are going to be very difficult. Not only the 4 years, just try doing the first month and the second month. But you need to make sure you tighten your budget up.
Well, I'm going to quickly show folks again how they can get a hold of you. Basically, you can give you a call. The number is 773-379-0960. So stop by her office, 4924 West Chicago Avenue, or email her at emitts, that's emitts@cityofchicago.com. Well, Alderman Mitts, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you
It's a
so
pleasure
much.
coming in, and I'll be back again.
That's right. We want to hear
Yes,
more about
yes.
the great things that are going on in
Yeah.
the 37th Ward. Thank you so much for all the calls and for all the viewers for tuning in. Thank you to our phone technician, Sylvia,
Thank
for
you.
doing such a great job answering all the calls. And we will be back next week. Until then, everyone have a good night.